Hi students, welcome to Diamond Group of Institutions NEET and KCET online classes. So today we are going to discuss about the rotational motion. So in this rotational motion, first question is a circular disc D1 of mass m and radius r has two identical discs D2 and D3 of the same mass and m and radius r attached rigidly at its opposite ends. So these two discs are attached rigidly to the opposite ends of this disc D1. The moment of inertia of the system about the axis O dash. About this axis we have to find the moment of inertia. Okay. And passing through the center of the D1, as shown will be, okay, this is passing through the center and perpendicular to this plane of the disc D1 we have to find here. Okay, so now first I am considering the D1 disc, okay, disc D1. So for disc D1 the axis is passing through the center and perpendicular to the plane. So if the axis is passing through the center and perpendicular to the plane, the moment of inertia of the disc is half mr square, mass is m, radius is r. So we know already formula, you have to remember all these formulas. And the next for disc D2 we have to find. So now this axis is, suppose disc is here like this, okay now. So to find out the moment of inertia of this disc we have to draw the one line parallel to this axis, okay now, parallel line we have to draw and we have to use the parallel axis theorem. So according to that one, this disc is there, the moment of inertia of this disc is equal to the, so moment of inertia of this disc with respect to the axis. So that means this is the circular disc now. So for this axis we have to draw the line parallel to that one. So now this line is, this axis is along the diameter of this disc. Okay, now if it is like this, perpendicular to the plane of the disc, but here this axis is parallel to the plane and passing through the diameter. Okay, so here this is the axis parallel to this axis of rotation. So now according to the parallel axis theorem, the moment of inertia of the disc equal to the moment of inertia with respect to the axis passing through the diameter or parallel to the plane. So with respect to this axis, the moment of inertia equal to the, so 1 by 4 mr square, already we know the formula. Okay, so now passing through the center perpendicular to the plane, half mr square, passing through the center and parallel to the plane or passing through the diameter is half of this one, means half of this one is nothing but 1 by 4 mr square plus mass into square of distance between these two axes. So square of distance, the distance between these two axes is nothing but the r. See now this is the disc now, from this disc is attached to the D1 disc. Okay, so from here to here distance is the r. Don't consider here to here r, here to here. This is the attached like this shape. Okay, 3D is not possible here. So this one, the distance is r. So mr square. From this moment of inertia we got 5 mr square by 4. So second disc ka moment of inertia is 5 mr square by 4. Third disc also identical to the second disc, same mass, same radius and the same distance from the axis of rotation. So third disc ka moment of inertia also same. So second disc, third disc the moment of inertia is 5 mr square by 4, same. Okay na? So first disc ka moment of inertia is half mr square and second third disc ka moment of inertia is 5 mr square by 4. Total system ka moment of inertia equal to the I1 plus I2 plus I3. Okay, now we are finding the moment of inertia with respect to the O dash. Okay, now I1 value is half mr square, I2 value is 5 mr square by 4 and the I3 value also 5 mr square by 4. So I am writing here 2 into 5 mr square by 4. So simplification we are getting the moment of inertia is 3 mr square. C option is the right answer. In this way you have to solve the problem. Next question. From a uniform circular disc of radius r and the mass is 9m. Okay, its mass is 9m and the radius is r. Okay, a small disc of radius r by 3 is removed as shown. Okay, this is the small disc. The radius of this disc is nothing but the r by 3. Mass of this disc is the small m. The moment of inertia of remaining disc about an axis perpendicular to the plane of the disc and passing through the center of the disc. So with respect to this one we have to find. Okay now, so now see, first I am taking the big circle disc. So before cutting that part, what is the center of moment of inertia of the disc I am going to find. So now this is the disc now, already in the previous problem we discussed. So line axis passing through the center and perpendicular to the plane, then the moment of inertia equal to the half m r square, but mass of this one is the 9m and radius is the r. M place may we have to substitute 9m and r is nothing but r only here. So we are getting the 9/2 mr square. So before removing the small disk, the moment of inertia of the total disk is 9/2 mr square. So now we are going to remove the small disk which has a mass m and radius r/3. Then what is the moment of inertia of the remaining portion we have to find. So now we have to find the moment of inertia of this small disk. Okay, we found the moment of inertia of the disk before cutting that disk. So total disk moment of inertia is this one. So now we have to find the moment of inertia of this small disk and subtract this moment of inertia of the small disk from the total big disk. Then we will get the moment of inertia of the remaining portion. Okay, so now see, I am going to find the moment of inertia of the small disk. Okay, this is the small disk, this is the big disk. Now radius of the big disk is r. Okay, so radius of the small disk is r/3. Okay, r/3 and mass is the m. So now the distance from this axis to the, okay, with respect to this axis we are going to find the moment of inertia of this small disk. So distance from this axis to the center of this small disk is nothing but the 2r/3. Okay, now this total radius is r, the radius of this one is the r/3, r minus r/3 is the 2r/3. Okay, now so now the center of this small disk at 2r/3 distance from the axis of rotation. Okay, now this is the axis perpendicular passing through the center and perpendicular to the plane. About this axis, so parallel to this axis we have to draw the one parallel axis here. So now this is the axis passing through the center and parallel to perpendicular to the plane of the small disk also. So from the parallel axis theorem, the moment of inertia of this one equal to I2 equal to the, now this axis is the passing through the center and parallel to this axis. Now this is nothing but the passing through the center and perpendicular to the plane. So according to this axis, the moment of inertia is half m r square. Half m r square means radius of this one r/3 whole square, plus the distance between these two axes, mass of this disk into distance between these two axes, parallel axes. So what is the distance between these two axes? One axis is here, one axis is here. So 2r/3. So m into 2r/3 whole square. So simplify this one. We will get this one of m r square by 9 plus m for 2r/3 whole square means 4r square by 9. For simplification, we will get I2 value is mr square by 2. That means the big disk moment of inertia is 9/2 mr square and this small disk ka moment of inertia with respect to this axis is nothing but the mr square by 2. So the moment of inertia of the remaining portion is nothing but the I1 minus I2. So moment of inertia of the total disk minus moment of inertia of the small disk. We have to subtract that one from the big disk. Then big disk moment of inertia is 9/2 mr square and small disk moment of inertia is mr square by 2. For subtraction, we will get the answer is 4 mr square. So the remaining portion ka moment of inertia is 4 mr square. Option B is the right answer. The next question based on the angular momentum. Okay, so question number 3. A thin smooth rod of length L and mass m is rotating freely with angular speed omega naught about an axis perpendicular to the rod and passing through the center. Okay, perpendicular to the rod and passing through the center. Two beads of mass m and a negligible size. Negligible size means point masses are at center of the rod initially. Initially, this point beads are at the center of the rod. The beads are free to slide along the rod. The angular speed of the system when the beads reach the opposite ends of the end will be. Okay, na? So this is the question. From the question, first condition is that, so this is the rod now. Okay, now two beads are at the center of the rod. Okay, and next we have to find that that means see now rotating freely with angular speed omega naught. This is rotating freely with the angular speed omega naught about an axis perpendicular to the rod and passing through the center. So this is the axis passing through the center and perpendicular to the rod and it is moving with the angular speed is omega naught. Initially the beads are at the center. Now we have to find the moment of inertia of this one. Okay, so moment of inertia of this whole system is equal to the initial moment of inertia equal to the moment of inertia of the rod with respect to the axis which is passing through the center or perpendicular to the rod is equal to the ml square by 12. This formula you have to remember. Now these point masses are located at the axis, okay, na, center of the axis, at the center initially. So now the distance of this point masses from the center equal to the 0, then moment of inertia of this beads is nothing but the 0. So the initial momentum of this system is ml square by 12. Okay, next what happened, these beads are free to slide along the rod and finally it reach to the opposite ends of the rod. Okay, one is reached to here, one more is reached to here. So now again we have to find the moment of inertia with respect to same axis, but here it is moving with the velocity, angular speed is omega. So initially these beads are at the center, the angular speed is omega naught. Now whenever this reaches to the opposite ends of the rod, then angular speed is the omega. Now we have to find the moment of inertia. Okay, so with respect to this axis only, so now final moment of inertia equal to the of this system, total system ka moment of inertia we are finding. The moment of inertia of the rod with respect to the axis passing through the center and perpendicular to the rod is nothing but ml square by 12 plus, now these beads are nothing but the negligible size, means point masses. The moment of inertia of this point mass from this axis is, okay, now this total length of the rod is the L, from axis to this bead is nothing but the L by 2, from axis to this one is nothing but the L by 2, center, the axis is passing through the center now, so that's why length here to here L by 2, here to here L by 2. Now the point mass ka moment of inertia with respect to this axis equal to the product of mass and the square of distance between the point mass and the axis of rotation. Okay, so mass is the m and distance between this is nothing but the L by 2. So moment of inertia of this bead is nothing but m into L by 2 whole square. This bead ka moment of inertia is m into L by 2 whole square. Both are at the same distance and the same identical beads, so the moment of inertia is equal. So due to this both particles, both beads, the moment of inertia is 2 into mass of that beads m into distance of that beads from the axis of rotation is L by 2 whole square. After simplification we are getting final moment of inertia is ml square by 12 plus ml square by 2. Here capital M, this is mass of the rod, this is the small m, this is the mass of the beads. Okay, and the next here see now in this case and in this case no external torque is acting. This beads first here freely sliding and reach to the opposite ends of the rod, but here no external torque is acting. If external torque is not acting, the moment angular momentum is conserved here. It is in the rotational motion, so conserved. From that angular momentum, conservation of angular momentum, initial angular momentum equal to the final angular momentum. So angular momentum ka formula L equal to the I into omega. I is the moment of inertia, omega is the angular speed. Okay, from that initially the that means angular momentum equal to initial moment of inertia into initial angular speed, final angular momentum moment of inertia into final angular speed. Initial angular momentum we found already. Sorry, initial moment of inertia is ml square by 12. So ml square by 12. Initially it is moving with omega naught speed. So omega naught equal to final moment of inertia is ml square by 12 plus small ml square by 2. I am writing here. And finally these are moving with the omega speed. Okay, so now we have to find the whenever the beads reach to the opposite ends of the rod, what is the angular speed we have to find. This omega value we have to find. Now omega equal to, send this one to this side, it will become. Okay, now ml square by 12 into omega naught. Okay, so next in denominator see the LCM 12 2 is there, 12 2 ka LCM is 12, so ml square plus here 6 times 6 ml square, 6 ml square. See now this 12 and this 12 will be cancelled out, and in the denominator and numerator L square is common, it will be cancelled out, and remaining term in the numerator m omega naught and in the denominator m capital M plus 6m, 6 small m. Okay na, capital M omega naught. This is the right answer, D option. In this way you have to solve. And next question, see a particle of mass 20 gram. Particle ka mass, okay, this is the particle mass of this one is the 20 grams. Okay, released with an initial velocity of 5 meter per second. So initially this is released with the 5 meter per second. Whenever it is at the A location, released at the 5 meter per second. Along the curve from the point A as shown in the figure, the point A is at highest height h from the point B. So from this point, this A is at the height 10 meter. Okay, the particle slides along the frictionless surface. When the particle reaches point B, when this particle reaches to point B, its angular momentum about O dash O will be, okay now. So whenever the particle reach to here, about the angular, what we have to find, angular momentum about O, about this axis, we have to find the angular momentum. Okay, so to find out the angular momentum, here angular momentum ka formula I equal to the, sorry, angular momentum L equal to the I into omega, otherwise L equal to the mvr, linear momentum into perpendicular distance between them. Okay na? So now here we will use this formula. Why? Because mass of the particle given and this distance they given from here to here, we have to find the velocity at this point first. Okay na? At the B point, what is the velocity we have to find? So to find that velocity at the B point, we will use the conservation of energy. So now I am considering that the reference level is the B. With respect to the B, I am going to find I am going to apply the conservation of energy rule here. So when the particle is at the A, okay na, so now the whatever the energies it has is equal to the, when the particle is to the B, has the same energy. That means here the energy is conserved. So now initial kinetic energy plus initial potential energy equal to the final kinetic energy plus final potential energy. We know already this one. So initially the particle is at the A. Initially it is at the A, so it is moving with the velocity 5 meter per second, so it has the kinetic energy. So initial kinetic energy is of m va square, it is at the A na, so va square I am writing, plus I am taking the reference is the B. From this reference, A is at the height h equal to 10 meter, so it is at the some height, so it has the potential energy also, so mgh. That means initially it has the kinetic energy and potential energy. Now this particle is moving along this curved path which and reaching to the B point. Okay, now this mass particle reaches to the B point. Whenever it reaches to the B, so it will come to some velocity. That velocity is at B point, the velocity is the Vb. So it has a velocity Vb at the B point, so kinetic energy, final kinetic energy of B is the of mvb square, and plus here it reaches to the reference level, so now potential energy will become 0. Okay, from this one, so m will be cancelled out in the all terms, so of va square plus gh equal to of vb square. We have to find the vb value. Vb square equal to the half, send this side 2 into half va square plus gh, so vb square equal to the 2 cancel va square, 2 into gh 2gh. Now substitute the values. At the A point, particle velocity is 5 meter per second, va square means 5 square 25 plus 2gh, 2 into g value is 10, h height of this particle initially from this reference is nothing but the 10 meters, so 10, substitute vb value we will get 15 meter per second. Okay, so whenever the particle reach to the B point, the velocity equal to the 15 meter per second, and the particle ka mass already they given, that mass equal to the 20 grams. Okay, now mass we know, velocity we know. At this point we have to find the angular momentum. So angular momentum formula is mass into velocity into distance r. Okay, now the mass and velocity of this particle at the B point is in this direction. So here the linear momentum P equal to m into v in this direction. So now with respect to this axis we have to find the angular momentum. So angular momentum equal to the linear momentum into perpendicular distance between the linear momentum and axis of rotation. This distance we have to consider. This is the perpendicular distance between the linear momentum and axis of rotation. How much this distance means? So this is the from here to here 10, from here to here 10, so 20 meters. So now angular momentum formula equal to the mass into velocity into r, otherwise linear momentum into perpendicular distance from the axis of rotation. So okay, mass of the particle is 20 grams, so 20 into 10 power minus 3. The velocity at the B is at the 15 meter per second. Okay, the perpendicular distance from the axis of rotation is the 20 meters, 20. Substituted and simplify it, we will get the angular momentum is 6 kg meter square per second. So 6 kg meter square per second. D option is the right answer. So here we saw the conservation of momentum formula, conservation of energy. Okay na, remember. The next question, a particle of mass m is projected with a velocity v. Okay, velocity v, making an angle of 45 degrees with the horizontal the magnitude of the angular momentum of the projectile about the point of projection when the particle is at its maximum height h is. Okay na? So this is the question. Now see, I drawn the diagram here. This particle is projected with the v velocity, okay, and we have to find the angular momentum, okay na, angular momentum only, yes, we have to find the angular momentum with respect to this projected point whenever the particle is at the maximum height, okay na. So at the maximum height we have the velocity v cos theta only, from projectile we will get that one. So velocity at this a point, a is at the maximum height, so velocity equal v cos theta, it is projected with the angle 45 degrees with the horizontal, so theta is 45 degrees, cos 45 means 1 by root 2, v into 1 by root 2, v by root 2. So at the maximum height the velocity equal to the v by root 2, and the mass of the particle they given mass m, okay. So at this point the linear momentum, so linear momentum p equal to the mass into velocity, so mass of the particle here m, and the velocity at this point is v by root 2, so mv by root 2, so linear momentum we got. So angular momentum equal to the r bar cross p bar we know, so that means here product of linear momentum and the perpendicular distance between the linear momentum from the axis of rotation, from the axis. So from this axis we have to find, so we need the perpendicular distance, extend this one here, okay. So from here to here, this is the perpendicular distance of this linear momentum with respect to this axis. This is the linear momentum we will get, p equal to the mva, I said na, this value mv by root 2 we got here, mv by root 2, okay. This is the linear momentum, and h is the perpendicular distance of this linear momentum with respect to this point of projection. So now linear momentum equal to the this actual r cross p equal to the rp sin theta we will write. Now this is the perpendicular to this one, theta equal to 90 degrees, then sin 90 equal to 1, we will write the r into p. This r is nothing but the perpendicular distance between this one, okay. This r is nothing but the h. Now h into angular momentum, linear momentum already we found, that is mv by root 2, mv by root 2, okay. So now maximum height formula in the projection motion, already we know that is maximum height equal to the v square sin square theta by 2g. Here we projected with the v velocity, that's why I am writing v square. So v square sin square theta by 2g into momentum value mv by root 2, okay, right. So v square by 2g, v square by 2g, sin square theta, theta value is 45 degrees, sin 45 1 by root 2, 1 by root 2 whole square is a 1 by 2. So 1 by 2 into mv by root 2, okay. Next v square into mv is nothing but the mv cube, in the denominator what is it, 2 into 2, 4 root 2 into g, 4 root 2 into g. This is the angular momentum. So angular momentum with respect to this point of projection is mv cube by 4 root g. B is the right option, okay. So this type of question so many times asked in the exam, concentrate on this type of questions. Next two questions based on the rolling motion, a solid sphere and a solid cylinder. A solid sphere and a solid cylinder of identical radius, both have the same radius, approach and incline with the same linear velocity, approaching the incline. This is the horizontal and this is the inclined here. The solid sphere and solid cylindrical, both are the same radius and both are approaching this inclined plane with the same velocity. Both roll without slipping all throughout, okay. They are not slipping, rolling, okay na? So that means it has the linear and rotational motion, okay, translational and rotational motion both, okay. The two climb max height, maximum height, h sphere, height of the maximum height of the sphere, maximum height of the cylindrical on the incline. The ratio of the h sphere by h cylindrical is given by, that means here solid sphere releasing with v velocity, this will reach to the inclined plane some height, okay na? That is the maximum height of the sphere. And the next case they are taking the one solid cylinder and with same velocity they are projecting here with v velocity. This will also reach to some height, and that height is nothing but the maximum height of the cylindrical. So what is the ratio, how much height this cylinder travel and how much height this sphere will travel, okay na? That we have to find. So for the pure rotational motion, you have to remember the kinetic energy formula is, that means it is in the motion, so it has the kinetic energy. So kinetic energy formula equal to half mv square into 1 plus k square by r square. If you remember this formula, we can solve the question very easily, okay na? Instead of doing the derivation, remember this one. If the body is pure rolling, then kinetic energy is equal to half mv square into 1 plus k square by r square. K is the radius of gyration, okay, r is the radius of the whatever the object we are taking, that object. Okay, so now here initially suppose I am taking the solid sphere, so here it is moving with the velocity, it has the kinetic energy. Next it will move onto the inclined plane, then this total energy is converting into the potential energy. So now here energy is conserved, that means total kinetic energy equal to the potential energy. So initially the kinetic energy equal to half mv square into 1 plus k square by r square, and next this kinetic energy is converting into the potential energy, that means it will stop after traveling for reaching some height h. So then potential energy is the mgs. This is the general equation we got. Now k square by r square value we have to find out the k square by r square for this solid sphere. Just remember easily, the solid sphere ka moment of inertia about axis passing through the center and perpendicular to the plane is nothing but 2 by 5 mr square. So just equate this one to the m k square, radius of gyration. So from this k square by r square equal to 2 by 5, and a solid cylinder ka moment of inertia with respect to the axis passing through the center perpendicular to the plane is half mr square. Half mr square is equal to the m k square. Okay, na? So then from this k square by r square equal to 1 by 2. That means just you have to remember solid sphere ka k square by r square value is 2 by 5, solid cylinder ka k square by r square value is 1 by 2, a rainbow ka k square by r square is 1. Like this you have to remember all these values, so it will take less time. Okay, now height of the sphere to the ratio of height of sphere to the height of cylindrical maximum, they are asking this, they are asking. So now from this equation, see now mass both will be cancelled out. Height I need, height equal to g, send this side, half v square by g, that means of v square by g into 1 plus k square by r square into 1 plus k square by r square. So this is for the sphere. Same way write down the cylinder also, same thing we will get. Okay, next here both same linear velocity. Okay, both are approaching the inclined plane with the same linear velocity. So this will be cancelled out, g will be cancelled out, half will be cancelled out, and remaining what are there? 1 plus k square r square by 1 plus k square r square. This 1 plus k square by r square is for the numerator. What is there? Sphere. This is for the sphere. Okay, this 1 plus k square by r square is nothing but the cylinder. Okay, in denominator cylinder. So now 1 plus k square by r square for the sphere, what is the value? 2 by 5 by 1 plus k square r square value for the cylinder is 1 by 2, substituted, and 1 plus 2 by 5 is nothing but the 7 by 5 into 1 plus 1 by 2 is nothing but 3 by 2, so 2 by 3 I am writing. So finally we got the answer 14 by 15. So the ratio of the maximum height reached by the sphere to the cylinder is 14 by 15. B option is the right answer. And the next come to see the next question, important question this one. A mass m supported by a massless string wound around a uniform hollow cylinder of mass m. A cylinder ka mass m and this particle ka mass also m only, this object ka mass, and radius r of this one, this cylinder ka hollow cylinder ka radius r. If the string does not slip on cylinder, with what acceleration will the mass fall and release? If we release this one, with how much acceleration it will fall on, that we have to find. Okay, see now whenever it release, this will move with the acceleration, linear acceleration, and this will rotate with the angular acceleration alpha. Okay, that will rotate with the angular acceleration alpha, and this will fall down with the linear acceleration is a. Okay, now apply the here. So from the Newton's second law, so now particle ka weight mg is downward direction, the tension will be developed here T, here also tension is the T. Okay, so now here this is moving down with acceleration a, means apply the Newton's second law. So mg minus T is upside, T equal to the mass into acceleration. So this is the first equation. Okay, now this hollow cylinder is rotating with respect to this axis na. So this is in the motion rotation due to the which force? Okay, due to this tension. Okay, now here this is not due to its weight, so weight is passing through this axis, so due to the weight it should not rotate, so this is rotating due to the tension. Okay, now so now the torque developed in the cylinder, the formula is torque tau equal to the moment of inertia into alpha. Okay, mass into acceleration we will write in for the object F equal to ma. So here moment of inertia into angular acceleration. Moment of inertia of this, what is the shape of this one? Hollow cylinder. Hollow cylinder ki moment of inertia is mr square into alpha. Okay, this is the mr square alpha. Now tau equal to this torque is developed due to the which force? Tension. Okay na? So torque formula also we know, torque equal to the force into perpendicular distance of this force from the axis of rotation. Okay, now this is the with respect to the rotating, and this is the due to this force, and the perpendicular distance between these two is nothing but the r. So tau equal to force is, what is the force responsible? Tension into perpendicular distance, this two is nothing but the r. T into r equal to the mr square alpha. So this is the second equation. Okay, so now here see, now this black is moving with the acceleration a, linear acceleration, and this is rotating with the angular acceleration is alpha. So both are attached, both will move with the same acceleration. Now equate that one. So linear acceleration of the black equal to the tangential acceleration of this hollow cylinder. So tangential acceleration ka formula r into alpha, that means a equal to the r alpha. Three equations we got. Okay, three equations. Now we have to find the a value. We have to find it. To find the a value, we have to remove the t value, neglect the t value. Okay na? So now first equation, so here from second equation we know t into r equal to mr square alpha. So to remove this t, I am multiplying this first equation with the r. Okay, easy way you will get mg into r minus t into r equal to ma into r. I multiplied the first equation with the r, and the next see mgr minus tr. From the second equation, tr equal to mr square alpha equal to ma into r, same way. Now mg into r minus mr square into alpha place में from the third equation, a equal to r alpha na, alpha equal to a by r. Okay na? So r square into alpha place में a by r equal to ma into r. So mgr minus 1r will be cancelled out here, ma r we will get. Right side also we have the mar. This mar sent that side, it will become 2 mar. Left side we have the mgr. So m will be cancelled, r will be cancelled, a equal to the g by 2 we will get. So the black will if we release, it will fall with the acceleration g by 2. So option B is the right answer. In this way we have to solve the problems. If you practice this question, it will finish within the 30 seconds only. Okay na? See the next question. A rod of length, rod ka length 50 centimeters is pivoted at one end. Okay, pivoted at one end. It is raised such that it makes an angle of 30 degrees. So 30 degrees it is making from the horizontal as shown, and released from rest. So from here it is released. Okay, its angular speed. Okay, it is released, then what is the angular speed? When it passes through the horizontal will be, when it passes through the horizontal. Okay, so here see, now I did run the diagram here. So this is the rod ka length is L is nothing but the 50 centimeters here. So now whenever it is making 30 degree with the horizontal, so whenever in this position, then it has the velocity equal to 0, rest per it is. So then we have to find the potential energy. So potential energy is nothing but the formula is m into g into h. This height is nothing but the height of the center of mass. We have to height of the center of mass from the horizontal. So mass is distributed uniformly na? So we have to consider the height is nothing but height of the center of mass from the horizontal. This height we have to find. So now to find this height, here it is making the angle 30 degrees. Now total length is the L. So from here to the center of mass length, center ka length is L by 2. From this sin 30 equal to H by L by 2. H by L by 2. Sin 30 value is 1 by 2. L by 2 send this side, 1 by 2 into L by 2 equal to H. H equal to L by 4. Okay, na? H value we got L by 4. Now substitute the H value here, we will get the potential energy equal to mg L by 4. Whenever the rod in this position, okay, then the potential energy is mg L by 4. Now this is released, so this will move with the angular speed equal to the omega. Okay, now that angular speed we have to find. So whenever initially it is rest, then it has a potential energy. Whenever it is in the motion, the total potential energy is converting into the kinetic energy. So energy is the potential energy is equal to the kinetic energy conserved here. So now potential energy we found here, mgl by 4 equal to kinetic energy whenever it is in the rotation. So rotational kinetic energy equal to half I omega square. Okay, now mgl by 4 equal to half I value. I is nothing but the moment of inertia of the rod. Moment of inertia of the rod. It is rotating with respect to this axis. That means from the end, not from the. That means the axis is passing through the end of the rod. Okay, so the moment of inertia with respect to the axis passing through the end is nothing but ml square by 3. Remember this formula. Into omega square. Now omega value we have to find. Send this one to this side. mgl by 4 into 2 into 3 6. So 6 by ml square we will get 6 by ml square. Okay, m into l. Now this m will be cancelled. 1l and 1l will be cancelled. In the numerator we have g value 10 6 into 6 by denominator 4 into l is there. L value is 50 centimeter length. Convert into the meters. 50 into 10 power minus 2. Okay, now omega square equal to 10 into 6 by 4 into 50, 10 power minus 2 I am sending to numerator, it will become 100. 50 ones to 2s, 2 ones to 2 2s, 2 ones to 2 5s, 5 into 6 30. Omega equal to square root of 30 radian per second. So root 30 radian per second. Next see the question, easy question. A cubical block of side L rests on a rough horizontal surface with the coefficient of friction is the mu. A horizontal force F is applied on the block as shown. So here horizontal force F is acting on this one. Coefficient of friction sufficiently high so that the block does not, it is not sliding, just it is toppling. Okay, the minimum force required to topple the block is. Okay, so initially that means I redrawn the diagram. This is the block. Now F force is acting on this one. So now it is not sliding, it is toppling. So finally what will happen? This will shift like this. Okay, like this. Block is there. If you apply the force, it is toppling. Though with respect to this edge, it is toppling. So that means whatever the normal force is there, now this normal force is shifted in this direction. Okay, na? So I removing this one. Okay, now normal force is now shifted to the edge. Okay, normal force is shifted to the edge now. Okay, now see, whenever this force is acting, frictional force is in this direction. With respect to this edge, it is toppling. It is toppling now. So now this frictional force is passing through this edge only. So the torque produced by this frictional force equal to the 0. Okay, now due to this force, this is toppling in this direction. So I am extending this force. So now due to this force, how much torque developed? Okay, na? Torque developed by this force equal to the force into perpendicular distance from that axis of rotation. So with respect to this edge, it is rotating. Na? This is the force. From here to here, it is the length of the cube. This is the L. So now force into perpendicular distance from this edge is this point of rotation is nothing but the L. So now torque developed by that force equal to F into L. Okay, this is completed. Okay, now we are this force is lifting upward. Na? So something force is acting opposite direction. That force is due to the weight. Okay, na? This is the weight. Mg is downward direction. So now due to this force, it is moving in the clockwise direction. Okay, na? Due to this mg, this is moving in the anti-clockwise direction. Okay, na? This force is opposing the toppling. So now torque developed by this mg. So torque developed by this mg equal to the force into perpendicular distance from that axis of rotation. So force is nothing but the mg from here to here. This is the axis. So from here to here distance, the total is L. So from here to here it is the L by 2. That is nothing but mg into L by 2. Okay. So now whenever the torque developed by this force is greater than the torque developed by this weight, then this will be topple. Okay, na? Whenever this is more than this one, then it will be topple. If it is less, then it should not topple. Okay, now see, if torque produced by the force is greater than the torque produced by the mg, then it will be topple. This is the condition. Okay, no need to remember this one. Okay, so toppling of the force equal to how much? F into L. F into L is greater than the, so torque produced by the mg is mg into L by 2, mg into L by 2. This L will be cancelled. F should be greater than the mg by 2. So what is the minimum force they are asking? The minimum force required to topple the block is F equal to the mg by 2. So option C is the right answer. So in this case you have to solve the problems. Okay, so rotational motion is a very important. From this we can expect that 2 or 3 questions in the NEET exam. Practice all the problems seriously. Thank you.